4, 3, 2. Welcome to another exciting episode of Masked or Not with our wonderful heroes, Wilda the Water Being. Jace the Technomancer.
Hi, I'm in for suffering today.
Spencer the Super Cat.
Hey guys, I'm ready for game. Is that a red dot?
Dahlia the Living Dead Girl.
Hey! I didn't bite anyone while I was out, did I?
Ranzian the Matter Manipulator.
I'm just gonna lie here.
Last time on Masked or Not, our heroes managed to apprehend the grandfather after a myriad of attacks and pressure applied from all sides. But after the capture, a mysterious woman appeared to take claim of the man, followed by the bride-to-be Cassandra and the third youngest brother, Adrian, came following suit to address their brother. Who is the mysterious woman, and will the wedding commence? Find out today. As you guys have gathered around the grandfather, who is still encased in the, I want to say, the second Faraday cage that was reformed around him, right?
Yeah.
After being beaten by Spencer in his new mass form, and then hailed by a barrage of bullets from Dahlia Afar. Jace, you stand before your grandfather, who has almost no attention to give as he's currently passed out, while this woman who has appeared randomly out of nowhere comes over to hold him by the shoulder. It's been trying to find him for a long while. He keeps escaping. So hard to keep an old man entertained. Wouldn't you agree?
I lose attention very easily.
We all do, dearie. Gets harder and harder as the years and eons go by. Now then, who might you all be?
I'm Spencer, and that's Jace, and the guy on the ground is Ed, and that's Dahlia, and I think that puddle in the
Shouldn't we be
bowl over
using
there
hero
is Wilma.
names?
What was that?
Shouldn't we be using hero names?
We should?
I don't
Living
know.
Dead Girl, Transient. I believe we were going with Tesla. There's Puddle. Spencer was
Puddle.
Super Cat.
I'm just Spencer.
And then there's Dead Girl.
Living Dead Girl, Transient, Spencer the Super Cat, Tesla, and Puddle.
And I only see 4 of you.
The other one's is a puddle at the moment.
They got hit really hard by that old guy over there.
Ah, yes. My dear ball of lightning can be very troublesome.
Pain in the ass, yes.
Oh. Why, of course. Allow me to try to fix what I can, though I might need to rely on some of the other guests' help. You see her wave a hand over, and from the gathering of people, 2 other figures do pop over. One seems to be very gentlemanly in his garb, very thin, almost flowing in a manner, while the other one just seems to be rocking the most Texan-like outfit one can ever see out of we're talking improper vest, cut sleeve, denim jeans, snake boots. The most ridiculous amount of cowboy that this very sturdy Japanese man should not be wearing. But it is.
Wow. I've never seen a cowboy before. Do you need any more help?
Nah, son. Quite frankly, it's part of our business. Just a hand pat from the flowing gentleman onto the cowboy. It's impolite to practice such tongue. It's impolite to not speak. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's what these guys preach. Points over to the couple that's in front of you guys. Though the lady looks over, we're Greek. Greek. Roman. What you want of us? Come on, having us in front of these kids is a bit informal, don't you think, Hera? Susano, just make sure that the clouds are parted and please restore power. Ptah, if you wouldn't mind reforming the buildings. I'll try to keep the others more alight. You see her somehow lift the body with ease, as though it was being not lift, but it manifests the almost same hover chair that you have, Jace, but with more, wheels. But even with the wheels and despite the fact that you are on top of the Pizza Co. Inc. museum, she traverses down the off side of the building where it looks like people from downstairs would see them taking the stairs. No, from you guys' perspective, she is walking down the wall with this wheelchair.
Spencer's gonna just kind of look at the wall and he's gonna go, "Man, I wish I could do that." Hmm.
As you
I
guys
would
walk,
DM,
go ahead.
I would like to try and walk up the wall.
Walk up or walk down?
Walk up.
Fine, go ahead and give me nothing because I believe you can actually do it.
I think I might just be able to. Actually, I don't think I am. Let me check.
You're still in the armor, right?
I am still in the armor. I can fly technically, so I can make it look like I'm walking up the wall.
Hmm. I need to make a quiet roll. As I do make that quiet roll, it's a little early, but we should shout out some hashtags. Hashtag first. Hashtag this guy. Hashtag anyone in the channel speed. Hashtag just a DM. Hashtag cat energy. Hashtag energy, but hashtag monster energy, but smaller. Hashtag he ain't standing anywhere. Hashtag cowboy man. Hashtag is this Aries? No, it's not Aries. Hashtag Aries is American. Hashtag what do they call you? Hashtag wheels. Hashtag I thought he was a Greek. Hashtag a Greek god, a Japanese god, and an Egyptian god walk into a wedding. Thank you.
Pronunciation has been given to you in general chat too.
Ta,
Oh.
ta, or
The
just
T
ta.
is silent, like pterodactyl.
Well, excuse me, and thank you for the correction. Oh wait, that's a villain's image.
I didn't know the gods were evil.
As you guys are watching them go down, Spencer, go ahead and give me a acrobatics roll as he decides to try to mimic the walk on walls.
Okay.
Just try to go up.
I think I'm still in my protector form, so that means no. Wait, no, I'm still in my human form, my regular.
Pretends. As Transient quietly mutters, "Pretend, Spencer, you can fly."
I'm going to pretend.
That was in general chat. That was not in Cul-de-sac Lounge.
Oh shit! I get my shit mixed up.
I am going to pretend. Would that be a performance or a persuasion check? I don't think there is a performance. What would it
Perform
be?
it. Perform.
I don't. There's no performance check, but
It would be since you're using your legs.
you can just go with acrobatics, I guess.
It would
I
be
mean-
like whatever climbing is.
It would be
I-
a strength check, an agility check, or a presence check if you're trying to deceive everyone.
I'm not trying to deceive everyone. I'm just trying to do the movements to make it look like it to myself. I don't really care if anyone's watching.
Then either acrobatics or agility.
I'll go with acrobatics. The first roll of the night. Let's see how that goes. That's a 26.
With relative ease, although anyone paying attention can notice that your each step is going at the same beat of your wings, but you're walking up a wall.
I'll be a 25 then. Yeah. But still, it's pretty good. Alright, Michael Jackson my way up the wall.
All right, as you head towards the ground or up towards the roof.
I'm gonna move towards the roof and then go back down.
The roof of the short little excerpts that the stairs exist on. If you go over and then under, and then follow the same route that now pointed out Hera has taken. I take it everyone's now gathering down to the ground, right? As you watch the building reform itself from the earlier impact that that the grandfather had made into the building.
Yeah, of the pizza museum that got absolutely obliterated.
While that is happening. Oh, go ahead.
As I said in the cul-de-sac lounge, Jace has started to check on Rockin' Prime, make sure he's all right, but he's generally making preparations to leave.
It's at that point when you get down to the ground, the approaching forms of Cassandra and Adrian finally reach to you, since they were still on the ground trying to shout out to you. Bro, Jace, wait, please, wait, before you go, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that everyone was freaking out.
Respectfully, don't apologize. Even if it was an impulse reaction, that told me what I needed to know. That said, seems like Grandpa won't be a problem, so the wedding should be able to progress smoothly.
Yes. But please stay. I haven't thanked you yet.
We could
Your
learn more.
sister. Oh, sorry?
Spencer's gonna say, well, yeah, but what's the deal with Himmel? You guys seem like you don't know anything about him, but Jace was with him for most of his life.
First and this is the first time we were actually hearing about this Himmel. Grandfather just said that he's with a family friend, one that he could trust dearly.
Yeah, Grandpa must have a whole lot of faith in the U.S. military complex then, huh?
There's some neck scratching from him. He helps finances it here and there, so yeah.
I don't think that's an excuse. I mean, he was with the U.S. military for like his entire life, and now he's out, and you guys act like it's not a big deal. I mean, it's not your fault, but still.
It is a big deal. but there's just so much going on. Cassandra speaks up. Between this, I didn't even know that you were even. They told us you were dead.
Who did?
Grandpa and grandfather and grandmother.
Wait, who's your grandmother?
That would be me, my dear. I have my reasons. As Hera pops back up.
Spencer's gonna have that absolutely just complete confused look on his face, just imagine if confusion was a face. That's it.
You have that surprise face, yeah.
Surprised Pikachu face. Sure, why not? Spencer's just
still-
gonna look at you, look at her for like a few moments, and then look back to Jace, and then go. So, you thought it would be fine to have your grandson put inside the U.S. military for untold amounts of years of his life?
And then lied about it to the rest of the family so no one came looking for him.
There's not a quiet moment, but a curt moment where the grandfather coughs up a second before opening an eye. Uh, crap. Caught, didn't I? Yes, you did. And yes, we had,
Cocks her gun again.
No,
And yes.
Dahlia, it's okay. If you're gonna shoot him in the foot. We're talking to him.
but I wouldn't say it was for his safety. No, it was for his betterment of upbringing.
I would like to make a will save to prevent myself from punching this woman.
Jace isn't even making a will save. He is turning to leave on Rockin' Prime hover chair.
Cassandra comes over to try to grab you as you're going forward with Rock and Prime. Spencer, go ahead and give me a will save.
Okay, let me just. That's a plus. Yeah, it's a +2.
Wow. All our legends said you were stupid, but I didn't realize you were quite as stupid as our politicians.
That's a 5. For
Man, I've
one,
never seen
Spencer. Go ahead.
I've never seen Spencer lash out before. This is a first.
This is a first, Spencer. At the mention of yeah, but it was good for him. Good for builds character, right?
Well, as far as embetterment, as you feel whatever was holding back this one motion let go before recatching you as you go over and attempt to strike a grandma.
Well, hang on, let them roll for the actual punch. That was a will save to see if they throw the punch.
I know. That's why I'm saying he still needs to roll it.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, I do need to roll it. Give me a moment.
Spencer needs to roll his ultimate cold clock for this old woman.
I am turning back into my Spencer form for this because I want it to hurt. Listen, this is a rare moment where Spencer's like, all right, no, that's enough. I'm sorry. I would like to flavor this as non-lethal, but definitely a slap across the face.
So I know previously I said that after everything that was happening on the progress bar for Jace's condition, he was at a 12. That comment's got him at a 15.
Oh no.
As anticipated.
Oh no.
Spence, do you have any luck points left?
Let me check.
Use your Benny for maximum punch against this old woman.
Use your
I'm not even
Benny.
talking. I'm not even talking
Grandma.
about a Benny. I'm talking about a luck point because I
I
don't think
think I
you used
do.
all of those.
I think I do. I think I have one, but that's because it's from the luck advantage. I'm not sure if that counts.
It does. You can still use it to reroll.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I just didn't anticipate a natural one. That
Spencer.
was
Grandma got run over by a super cat. Really?
Spencer, you it's like I can't let that stand. I've got to clock this woman for that. No, wait, I can't punch an old lady. Yes, I can.
I can't punch an old lady. Watch me.
It's under
So, yeah,
10, so isn't
from
that
the base-
18 plus 12 is 30?
So yeah, Spence, your base luck feat allows you to re-roll once per round.
Okay.
If you had any of the others, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay. So, question: would that add anything to it? Is it like a Benny, or is it just the roll that I get?
It's exactly like a Benny re-roll. So you
Okay,
add plus
so-
10 if it's below 10.
Okay, that's a 30 to hit.
So there's a moment where she seems to take a step back, a bit shocked at you trying to hit her. But as you're like missing the feint, you somehow you take a next extra step, and your kitten reflexes switch back over to strike at her, catch her at
Yeah.
the side.
I would
Congratulations.
like to say
This was not a palm, this was a backhand.
this was absolutely a backhand. Just, I would like to flavor it as he goes for a feint. It looks like a punch. She swipes to the side. He extends all of his fingers into a backhand and smacks her across the cheek by swiveling his hips and pivoting on his one leg. And he's just gonna let that smack resonate in the air for like a good few seconds before gently pulling down his hand and going, "I apologize for that, but you are a horrible grandmother."
Mm.
I love the idea that Wilda goes down and suddenly the brakes are off the war machine.
The
There
brakes
is
are
a-
off the war machine specifically because, yeah, I incapacitated your friend and nearly destroyed the entire casino and also killed everyone inside, but it was for his betterment, right? And
As
I'm going
you-
to continue as Spencer, continuing by saying, I understand that you might want what's best for him, but that is quite clearly the worst possible thing you could have done for his upraising. He didn't have any friends, he didn't have anyone to call his family, and more than that, when he wanted to connect with his family, when he finally got out, they seem to have abandoned him. You should be ashamed. I am going to drink the entire punch bowl, and you can't stop me.
So Hera sits there as your fist lets go. She nods. Fair point. But at the same time, maybe my upbringing is a whole lot different than your upbringing. And in hopes to spark a mode of godhood, one should not just be coveted in kindness and love, unless you're forget what's his name? What's his name? One second.
Hey, Hera!
Hold on one second. Hold on.
He's checking his notes. I don't know what.
I know this probably isn't the energy you're going for, DM, but Hera's pondering this. Transient's like, hey, Hera, no, the adults are talking.
You want an Aries? Because this is how you get an Aries.
This is how you get an Aries.
Which is it when you take into such a lot of goodness that it becomes overdone? An egregious amount of luxury.
Dionysus.
Yeah.
No, that's not how you get Dionysus. That's how you get Aphrodite.
I mean,
Oh, God. I
no,
would
if
say
you get
that
Aphrodite by clamshell, by turning seafoam into a goddess.
There was
mean,
a robot based off the very joke of it in Futurama, where he's just literally lounging in legs. Over.
Dionysus. I said it.
Yeah, that's Dionysus. I thought it
Was
was
it Dion-
Dionysus.
Dionysus, whichever one it is. In Rome, he would be called Bacchus. He's the fat one with grapes. What was
It's
it?
wine.
Grapes, peaches, and
He's
wine.
the god of wine. Hell yeah. He's the god of parties.
Hedonism.
There you go.
That's the term I was looking for. Hedonism. But yes, Dionysus.
I would like to say that that's what Hera says, and as Spencer's going to drink the entire punch bowl, he's going to look back from the stairs and go, You mean like how I was raised?
Man, I know it was probably like Spencer picking up the whole bowl and chugging it, but I love the idea that he was just doing the cat thing where he was just rapidly hitting his tongue against the surface of the liquid and pulling it up into his mouth over and over and over again, and he just stopped, stared at Hera, said that, and then went back to doing that.
Exactly what's going on. And it's so fast that it's draining the punch bowl.
That's how you get like a Fury or a Nemesis, or maybe if you're lucky an Athena, but probably not.
And that's what I think of your punch. Anyways.
Oh, what was his name? I think I remember somebody specifically like this. I think his name was Odysseus. You remember Odysseus, right?
Yes, I remember Odysseus, and yes,
And the shit he pulled?
he would have made a glorious god, but he didn't finish the moat.
Oh, you mean like Heracles did?
There's a smile at the mention of that.
Oh, that is not a smile. Not a happy one, at least.
Or you could become a god by like boning Zeus. Isn't that what Ganymede did?
You know who?
If we can take this conversation inside, please.
Oh, so
Kinda can't
now
move.
it's different. Dahlia says.
Spencer's gonna walk over.
There is no walking, as the entire scene around you has already shifted to the inside of the casino again.
Oh, cool. We've teleported.
Transient still
imagine-
hasn't moved off the floor.
I imagine Jace was like trying to move past Cassie because, you know, the meter is decreasing. And
And now you're pulled into the building again, as much as you were trying
Yeah.
to escape. Go ahead and notch that up by another point.
DM,
yeah, that's 16.
I have a question, DM. I really need to know.
Go ahead, as I'm still trying to respond to a call to truth.
Very good. Did she fail the toughness check?
She actually redirected the energy.
Ooh. I have no idea what that means, but I am excited.
As you guys look around, I mean, you are currently in where the wedding is supposed to be at. Everyone is still taking their time coming in, as the repairs to the shooken building have already been done by Ta. The power being restored back thanks to Susanoo, back leaning up against a pillar, blowing out finger guns. Just like how they do in the West. Ta comes over. That is not how they do in the West. You can't just let me have my fantasies.
Fantasies? I have fantasies like a whole land made of pizza. I had a dream like that earlier today. He's gonna remember when everyone was being beaten down and he was like, pretty colors. Aha.
Hey. So yes, you may have all your mocking as humans. Go ahead. Toss them out. I've been here at least a good 2 centuries now. There's been a good amount I've heard. Plenty more back back in my time. But with a marriage as long as ours, you get used to the the dark sides, while praying that the good side, the light sides, still show. Honey, I'm sorry. I don't. Now is not the time. So before I make any egregious more push, was there any questions?
I would like to make one question if no one else will.
I take it Jason's like vibrating at the sheer audacity of being asked questions, while Cassandra, who also got pulled into her own wedding room area, is still trying to calm her brother down. Adrian is
Jace isn't
Oh.
angry at this point. He's not like vibrating with rage. But it is very, very apparent, even with his completely unreadable eyes, that he is not doing great.
Okay, noted. So, before I continue, before I, as the DM, make any pool, Spencer, you said you wanted to ask a question?
Yes. I will ask Hera a question. I will look to them after draining the entire punch bowl. And I will go. So you did it for his good. I mean, it's horrible, and you did a horrible job at it, but it was good intention, I guess. What did you expect of him?
A couple sighs in unison. Hera proceeds to say, honestly, this is pretty much more than what we were expecting. Truth be told, every new mode produces a different range of feats, range of gifts. It's what they do with the gifts that's really impressive. And look, he's already escaped a total imprisonment, managed to make friends, even has a new name. I say he's doing well.
What was his
You
name
realize he
originally?
could have done that like by moving or like going to a different school.
I wouldn't
That didn't
expect.
necessarily require like servitude and abandonment and that sort of stuff, right?
Once more, I wouldn't expect someone who grew up with the easy living to understand.
I didn't grow up easy, but I grew up.
Respectfully, she's literally dead.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't matter. It's not a competition for who had the most trauma. It's what you do with your circumstances. You could have one shitty day and it could still make you a hero.
Exactly. Then you already understand. You already answered your own
Yeah,
question.
but that doesn't mean you need to engineer the trauma. That's just stupid.
Mm,
I've been looking up big words in my Big Words for Big Boys book. I think the word is facetious. That's it.
No, stupid's the right word.
Okay. Spencer puts away his book.
Yeah, sometimes you need a chisel, Spencer, but sometimes you just need a fucking hammer.
I'm good at hammers.
yes,
little
and what hammers and chisels won't do, water will. You realize that time is not something that you can perceive normally, while we can see in its entirety. And
I
yet,
know.
surprises still show.
Wait.
I highly doubt you all are powerful enough to see all of time.
I have a question then. How old is Jace gonna live to be?
He smiles. Couldn't tell you.
No, because that was your father's power and ability.
Is he gonna get like laser eyes or something?
I couldn't tell you that. That's
He could probably invent
Spencer,
laser eyes.
briefly, Spencer considers going into the future to see if that's true.
no,
Very
Spencer.
weird.
No.
No, Spencer. I just love the DM just getting himself into the panel and going, "No, Spencer. No."
A sense of you, the cat that wants to go and check the future is told, "Don't do it," by the goodness in you.
The goodness in me, represented by you. Understood. However, Spencer's going to continue with, you should at least let him do what he wants now. I mean, he's free. He can do what he wants. He doesn't need to be bound by you or anyone else's rules. He doesn't even need to be at this wedding, but he chose to be because he loves his family. And even if they didn't think he was alive or, really understood whatever you put him through.
Oh, we're more than welcome to let him at his own devices now. In truth, we all were here just to celebrate the joining of two families. So
Well,
one family still seems to be late.
what do you mean?
Yes. What do you expect of the Norse?
Did he say ass?
Nords. I don't think he said that word out of character, but in character as Spencer. What's ass mean?
Somebody's
It's-
buttocks.
Beat me to the draw. Shoot. Yes. No. What we were trying to explain is that the representative of the Norse gods, Thor, will be making his way, but he's been delayed. Apparently, apparently the area around these streets and of the city has been quite strange. Rather perturbing amount of incident. In truth, my ride was a bit delayed earlier when there was a bunch of hogs being formed out of the ground. Perturbing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what we dealt with him.
Hmm. It was being done by one person. Oh, thank goodness.
Wow.
well, I'm sure that Thor is strong enough to handle whatever it is on his own. But don't we still have a wedding to do? Also, question, are the other grandparents gods like you?
both both the grandfather and grandmother. Oh, honey. Can't really say for sure. The avatars that we choose you are best at stated random. Took me
What's an avatar?
it's a vessel meant to house the connection to one of us.
You mean like a cupcake pan?
Mm, I would say more of a cup, but I guess cupcake pan could work. Just instead of having all vanilla cupcakes, one is specifically made with special recipe.
I love special recipes. Mom's special recipe is, and then he just covers his mouth.
Mm.
Speaking of DM, I have a question for you.
Go ahead as you guys are finishing up your questions. Cassandra speaks up. Why would you tell us that he's dead after all this time? Just to keep us away? Well, dearie, a mother's love is well tested, well brutally broken, especially upon death. Would be the easiest way to keep your mother from bending the rest. Okay, and Spencer,
My question specifically is, can I please save Wilda now?
you can certainly try. You can tell since Wilda is still being carried by uh by the father Follinger, who the Follinger father, who is currently still having a tug of war with the bull with Cyrus, the father of Wilda, and you.
I would like to win the tug of war and hold the bowl, please.
Are you still in the suit?
Yes. I haven't taken off the belt. I'm gonna win.
All right, go for it. As you go down there, pick up the bowl while you're standing now clearly taller than either two gentlemen. Go. I must save her.
I instead of I must save her, I go, I'm gonna take this for a moment.
Two sides of a hero, folks, in a mask.
Two
One
sides of a
side.
hero. The inner voice, I must save her. Outer voice, I'm gonna take this for a moment.
As you do bounce back into the wedding area, as everyone else is still being slowly allowed in.
I would like to So does it still look like there's a cage around her soul?
Yeah. Once more, metaphorically speaking, you don't see the cage yourself. It is something that she sees herself.
Okay. Then can I see her at all?
Yes, but she's stationary.
Can I try and move her?
You are sloshing the water around.
No, I mean, I'd like to put my hand in, and with effect insubstantial, I would like to try and move her soul. Or at least spark some life into it.
Double-checking
Energy.
your power
Because I
set.
have a lot of energy in my body in the moment. I would like to spark some of that cosmic energy into her soul so she could break free.
It does have accelerated healing regeneration too. Range personal. If it's personal, does that mean it's restricted to self, or does that also include things he touch?
I don't know.
I believe
Go.
it's self only.
I'm just asking esoterically if I could possibly. Give me a moment. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about the accelerated healing there, but I can try and. Oh no, it'd be your call, DM, if I could even possibly try.
Spencer, I have to break your heart. As with all the power that you have, the great strength, the ability to move buildings, as you go to reach for her soul, something in you starts reminding you that if touching souls unprepared could cause damage, and then the remembrance of the cracked soul puts a pause on you. You're good. You're willing to do good nature and take care of Wilda, stopping you from just willy nilly grabbing her soul.
Spencer's gonna sigh softly, and then he's gonna walk over to Hera and Zeus and go, can you put her back the way she was?
Hmm.
Holding a bowl of water.
She holds a finger as she goes to address Cassandra's question. To finish the Cassandra's question. So,
Understood.
in telling your parents that he was dead, it gave him more room to grow without the oppressiveness of motherhood.
Also, before I go, can I just say that's really rich that Hera is talking about the oppressiveness of motherhood because she's the goddess of like motherhood and hearths.
Felt that would be the perfect irony here. Correct me where I'm wrong. And where are you going? Silence does not do me any good.
Ed,
They mentioned their cats are rioting.
Okay, now I see it. Sorry, trying to catch up. Castle branding. Personal equals self. Thank you, Puddle. So for him, so that is why we said he was dead to you when you all asked that time. At that time. Now, as for you, young one. Oh, your friend is still stuck in here? Ah, so this is where your fifth one went.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think his lightning really hurt her.
She looks over at Zeus, who the grandfather, still being bound, gives a shrug. Oh, I will try. Puddle, go ahead and give me a will save and then a toughness save in that order.
Wahoo!
Now, don't tell me. Oh, okay, I can see her typing now. I can see her typing now.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Double checking Puddles to see if she really does have no will. There's a +2 in that will. Damn, touche. All right, you got me there. You did have 2 bruises. Okay. So she goes and holds onto the bowl. And from what everyone else can see, there's small aethers of energy like I would call it miasma, but it's more plasma. A pleasant miasma, one would say. Doesn't choke you out. But it starts to swirl around the bowl that you are in, Puddles. And from your perspective, you can feel something trying to pull you through the bars, and in your mental defense, you're able to wiggle around the bars themselves, as as had you not been more mentally ready to escape this enclosement, you would have been hitting a mental wall, as one would say. But you're able to go around these bars. But in trying to concentrate
Hold on, DM.
your go ahead. What am I missing?
Hmm.
Let me rephrase it then. Sorry. I don't know why I was still stuck in that cage of ice.
Because that's what Spencer saw.
I I hate myself sometimes.
Don't hate yourself. You got this.
So in the endless snow haze before you, Wilda, as you're trying to find some way back to yourself, back to your friends, trying to escape this encapsulating and almost suffocating snow field darkness, there is this there is this pleasant miasma that appears, somewhat leading you first left, then right. And as you follow it, you start feeling a more warm sense, and the darkness doesn't become as encroaching.
I'm gonna stop you there, Dan. You're going a little bit further with what you're trying to say without getting input from me.
Thank you.
What does it feel like the lightning that put me into this?
No,
I mean the same kind of energy signature.
no. Whereas the initial energy signature was a more sharp and more authoritative uh, ping of energy, this feels strangely caressing.
Oh no, she wouldn't have done that.
Okay, then please correct me.
She would not have followed that energy out of there. She wouldn't trust it.
Then, with your will save, you manage to run away from the aura.
Well, I tried.
Yes, Spencer can see the auras. Yes, he can see it going around the bowl. He does not see the soul perspective that Wilda has. He saw instead the ice cage that, while he tried to paw at, realized that if he pawed at it too close, could rattle and endanger Wilda's soul. As you run away from the energy field, you find yourself running deeper into the darkness of the snowfield. The snow's bitterness and coldness start to sharpen your senses. Your toughness check being the result, the as the bowl of water starts to take on a tinge of frost. Mm, that's not good. I don't think I can force her to come back to her senses willingly.
Well, how long do you think it'll take?
The energy does seem to swirl and go about the bowl. She's well aware of herself. The soul is strong, but so is the trauma. I give it about 4 hours, at most.
Okay. Spencer's gonna set the bowl down on the table, just like, I don't know. He's gonna hand it to Transient.
Transient will take it.
And then he's gonna go over to Jace and do his very best to stay close to him and, try to be comforting.
Jace or to the bowl?
Jace, because he is also suffering at the moment.
Yes, well, I do feel bad that we weren't able to correct at least your friend there. Maybe we have been overstepping our boundaries every so often.
I mean, yeah.
But what else will it take? The world runs off of unique things, and they don't appear out of just thin air.
Where do they come from then?
I mean, wouldn't you know? You're one of the sources, or at least or at least an avatar of one.
Spencer's gonna think really hard and then get another confused face.exe.
As you do, Hera does walk stride over towards Jace, Cassandra, Adrian. I must attest, we have been, I guess, a dash bit troublesome, haven't we? Troublesome? You've already ruined most of our family. How dare you say such a thing? Easy, sister, please. This is a lot to take in. I don't even know if I'm supposed to call you grandmother or Hera, goddess. I don't even believe in gods, okay? So all this, it's a bit much. Boy, howdy, buddy. I'm gonna have to hate to break it to you, but you should start believing in gods. They stand alongside you, don't you know?
Oh, Janelle.
Pirates of the Caribbean reference detected.
Best be believing in ghost stories. You're in one.
That's what I thought.
Well, Spencer said what he's wanted to say at this point, but Spencer's just gonna make a little comment like, "Yeah, gods exist."
But sadly, if only the world was just as simple as gods and humans existing.
It isn't? Man,
No.
I should read more.
If anything, we should be. What was that? As Hera turns towards the bowl that begins growling to itself and can only be heard by Spencer and the gods. Transient, you can't hear it, but you do see the frost taking on different uh, shapes from your analytical soul's eye. Her soul is starting to be more.
I can't see souls.
Oh, right. Damn it.
Spencer can see souls.
It's okay, DM. I understand your pain significantly.
He might be able to feel her soul since he has part of it.
That would depend on Transient, I guess, and the DM.
Transient, you do feel a pang of fear and worry coming from the bowl, along with a cold reaction. You can write off this feeling to try to connect and it's sensed through her soul's eyes if you channel it. Which I'm guessing I'm missing another cue, didn't I?
I don't know.
No.
You're missing. You're partially missing the being that's part of me that can do this, who is above those deities that are currently in the room.
Are you asking about the truth?
Yeah, truth is a conceptual being. He's above the gods in power.
Okay. So Are you asking if Truth will be the one channeling this, or are you channeling Truth?
So that's up to you how you want to portray how this goes about. Transient himself does not have any soul-like abilities other than to literally pull souls into himself. That's how he feeds. If you want to expound upon that so that Truth has stuff, is able to do stuff beyond that point because he should be able to. But this is depending on how you want to portray Truth.
All right. I'm going to give an example of a portrayal. If you like it, we'll roll with it. If not, I'll work on another one. As you're somewhat hearing but ignoring the continued talks amongst the gods, Jace, Spencer, Dahlia, you focus your attention towards Wilda in the bowl. And in the not in the recesses, but in the but it comes jutting to the forefront. This remark of truth. She's afraid. She's lost. She can't feel anything. To her, everything is growing colder. And what's worse, she's accepting it. She might be completely frozen emotionally and spiritually if we don't try something, or at the very least let her know you're here.
I mean, I tried. You just told me no.
You tried reaching and touching the soul with your bare hands.
Okay.
Hey Spence, you mind guiding me?
Sure. What do you need me to guide you on?
Where is she?
I would like to confer with the DM as to where exactly she is, her soul.
Her soul is somewhat sinking towards the bottom of the bowl, listing towards, I would say, the right side, more towards you, Spencer. But
I'm gonna hold the bottom side of that bowl and just kind of get that bottom side of the bowl and point it out for him.
What do you see exactly?
I
for
see.
Spencer's
Go ahead.
for Spencer's eyes, once more establishing this, because I'm a forgetful ass. You see Wilda's soul seem to be going from the cage of ice now be almost shelled in ice. As though the cage bars were now fan out and enclosed like a top, a spinning top.
I'll describe that to him.
Guide my hand to the edge. Let's see if I can manage this.
I'll take his hand and guide it towards there.
I'm gonna start to siphon off the energy. That's the best I can describe it as.
All right, give me your normal soul absorption roll.
Depending on whether or not this is something that Wilda herself is doing, or you are doing as GM, the DC is going to be a DC 16.
Okay.
In this case, it'll be technically a fortitude check, but it does interact with intangible.
All right. Then we will have Puddle as you are retreating into the cold, into the
And what I'm
frost.
going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to draw Wilda's soul through this barrier that's being made.
Okay, so as you begin trying to draw her soul out through from the barrier, in Will's perspective, well, as you're retreating into the darkness, into the cold, you find yourself not just running on two legs, but rather running on four. As you hasten away from the unfamiliar feeling, you feel a different pain almost strike at you, but this one is familiar. A pain that harkens back to the garage. A pain that reminds you of someone else who was in need of you. Will you run to this pain or will you run away from it?
I run towards the pain, and since I'm in more of a wolf form, I kind of bite it.
Okay, then I will. Flavor asks this as you follow the pain, trying to bite it with your fangs. With each bite, you feel more aggressive, more warm. You don't feel the cold as much as you are now feeling justified in trying to feel this pain, whether with teeth or with feeling. Transient, as you're trying to draw her soul out, you are able to see the barrier of ice undoing itself as at your, and you're trying with your carefulness, since you took in shavings of souls before, you're able to pull at the barrier, able to draw her through the opening of the barrier as the barrier begins to disintegrate in and of itself. That said, Wilda, I will need I will need a fortitude check from you, and make it two fortitudes. Okay, so 13 and 13, huh? With the 13, despite trying to bite the pain, you feel yourself being pulled by it. And and in aching form, you are able to be more aware of your surroundings now. You're still in the bowl. You're now in a bowl of glass, and while you're conscious and aware in your water form, it is extremely difficult to move. And even trying to reach the rim of the bowl is a trying and painful task. But you're aware. You could try talking. That I will leave that up to you. How you feel about it. But you are more aware of your surroundings now, and while you can somewhat interact, you are still bruised, you're still in pain, and you are still not.
You cut out, Mare.
How bad did I cut out? What did I cut out?
About halfway through that.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard me say?
That I have the ability to interact, but it's hard to move.
Right. So it's hard to move. You can attempt to speak if you want to. I will say that you can speak and it'll sound about as raspy as what you're giving us right now. And a bit of like a watery static. But you are still not able to take your full form. You're aware, but still powerless. The fear isn't encroaching. You don't feel like you're back in the snowfield or worse yet, the mattress, but you're in a bowl. But hey, at least you're in the arms of someone that you recognize. This transient looks down.
I'll
I'm
say
also
there's a face in the bowl.
Transient, you're able to see a face form as you finish pulling her through the cage. I take it that's where you let go with your absorption skill.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, you're able to see her free, and with the with the face forming on the on the top of the water, you can feel that Wilda is in control a bit.
yay. Spencer is happy. He would touch the water, but at the moment he thinks he might hurt it.
Oh, so the records are true. There was a Follinger amongst you.
At that voice, I'm going to growl.
I'd like to point out that ability is not a Follinger special.
Duly noted. However, allow me to clarify. It's
The
where do we?
alchemy made sense because that was a Follinger special. The soul absorption and manipulation, that's not.
All right, fine. Oh, so someone who is capable of handling souls does exist in amongst your group. And I guess it's good that she trusts you more. Though, can someone explain to me why she sounds like a moon hunter? Growls like that don't come from any normal animal.
A what hunter?
A moon hunter. They're they're those darn dogs, beasts that run after the celestial bodies. Always interfering with the works of gods. I don't know, hon. They're his friends. Honestly, seems fit. Hera glares at Zeus. Zeus once more crawls back into his bindings. Yeah, but I reckon I don't think any of these young ones know. We're kind of losing time.
Well, those heckles will raise.
Heckles? What are heckles?
Just imagine like little furs are standing on end. And the bottom
Hackles
of
are hackles are a mixture of the fur standing on end and the jowls rising to reveal the canines.
I didn't know Wilda had canines.
There is definitely a more wolf-like face in the water bowl, but it's not. But it, it's 2D. It's 2D. That's the best way I can explain it. It's 2D.
It's more flat.
Yes. it, it, I believe Sasano is actually right on this one. Would do us better to explain it, especially since these ones seems to now have our audience. Before the rest of them show up and we continue on with the proceedings. Besides, I
Could
still
we
need to get
stop
into.
explaining things, please? I understand there's a lot going on, and I understand there's a lot of important things happening. But we came here for a wedding. None of us came here to get involved in interdatal conflicts. None of us came here for any of this. Can we please let my sister have her wedding with no more of this?
There's silence in the room as even your sister's a bit taken back by your sudden outburst. Before all four of the current gods nod in agreement. Fair? Do go get dressed, honey. Your dress is still hanging inside the door. Cassandra nods before she rushes off. After she exits the room, Adrian sighs, and then there's this little peep of a voice coming from over by the altar area. Is it safe to look back? As your attentions turn and standing at the altar, who's been staring straight forward, duly dedicated, is Dutronidi. Amp. Got his first name. I remember the second name for some. Yeah, thank you, Deuteronomy. I remember the second name, middle name. I can't remember the first name. But
I think
yeah,
it was. I think it was Kenneth Deuteronomy. Kenneth Amp. No, it was Kenneth Deuteronomy Amp.
Thank you. Yes, KDA.
Because yeah.
As Kenneth has been standing there with his face forward towards the altar the whole time. Is it safe to turn around? I heard Cassandra there, but without the priest here, it's not the time of the wedding, and I don't want to jinx things. I want this to still go well. Aw, you just caught that what Will does doing. The image of Wolf would look up at Edward and wag its tail. Remind me what that 17 is, by the way.
His meter.
Ah, thank you. So yeah, Kenneth is still standing over at the altar as Ta steps around. If you wouldn't mind just waiting about another 15 minutes, I'll be back. As he too steps off and goes over off stage to prepare. As they go off, Susanoo sets up his cowboy vest. Well, I guess I better start playing my duty. Surprised no one's asking, but it's bodyguard. As he goes over and opens the door to start letting a few people in. Specifically, we start off with your guys' family members. Then the remainder of Jace's family. And then the friends of Jace's sister Cassandra, friends of Kenneth, and then the rest of the inviteed. As the room begins to be filled up, Comes back, now fully decked out in minister, proper robes. Lord Jesus Christ, cross, barren and proper. The purple robes around his shoulders as he comes over to the altar. Oh, flips open the holy book. Uh, is at this point the music starts playing as the sound speaker starts announcing, "We are finally in full swing of the wonderful wedding. Please stand by a screen to watch the vows be exchanged." As the music starts playing, everyone can hear the doors open. And as they turn around, they do see Cassandra walking forward, with the father, with her father this time. Trying to remember his name.
Terrence Z. Watts. It's in Friends and Family.
Thank you. As as your father Terrence does stroll up, the last one to actually see you. And while he is walking her down the hall, you can't tell if he's crying because he's giving away his daughter, or if he's crying because he looked at you. And from your tale, I actually need to roll this.
Yeah, Jesus' eyes are currently closed. He can't see anything. Unless he's watching through cameras.
Right. But through the camera visions, if you're still perceiving through, you can see him crying. You can't tell if it's more exacerbated because he sees you just sitting there joining with the family for the occasion, or if it's just because he's giving away his daughter. His daughter comes up to the altar as they all stand. Proceeds to go through the enactment. We have gathered here today to join these two in holy matrimony. Each person has their own vows, and they would go through their vows, noting that each one has been in love since the first moment they met, but that love only sprung forth when they took that one dive down in that a strange that is the market hall at the research center. They agreed to hold each other in warmth and in cold, in impoverished or rich, in health or in sickness. As they wind down to their vows, Natal looks around. Are there any of those who would dare speak up now, and who would dare speak up now, or otherwise hold your
object to this
peace?
union?
Huh?
To object to this union?
Yes, thank you. To object to this union, or else forever hold your peace. As at this point, two figures stand.
Dahlia cocks her gun warningly.
Chief
You
is
cock-
so far beyond the point of rationality at this point. If these guys say anything along the lines of "I object," he is going to give them aneurysms.
The two figures stand tall. From what everyone can see, they see this very burly man, proper, well-fit attire, almost seems exaggerated given his unique stature of thickness, with a hearty beard of auburn, as he does begin to speak up. I do find
Or
that
sit down.
Jace just snaps his fingers and fires off an aneurysm.
Oh, come on.
go ahead.
He has to make a save.
Yeah, we are beyond things at this point.
Too much shit has happened to Jace tonight, and this day has been way too long for him to tolerate anything.
That is an 18 on the roll.
That may be exactly the DC. Let me check. Where is chapter 9? Yep, it's exactly 18.
You attempt to. You send out this notion of aneurysm over towards the gentleman who starts to speak up, and you almost have it nailed down. But he seems to be able to, seeming about to brush up to the last second. It's when the second gentleman who stood up puts a hand on him. Gentleman is a bit thin, thinner than thinner than the gentleman next to him, with only like a handlebar mustache, same color hair, auburn brown. Brother dear, this is not the time. Not the time. And pulls him back down to a seat. Tao looks around. Are there any other objectors? Then with the power invested in me, I now declare you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. And probably the most happiest you've seen her yet in this moment, she eagerly wraps her arms around Kenneth, who pulls her up and above him into a passionate kiss as the hall starts going wild and in happiness, excited for the newly couple that's been officiated. There's only a few figures not cheering in the body. First and foremost is Jace, who, while was hoping to have, huh?
Jace is not cheering, but he is clapping for them.
Okay. So Jace, while not super excited, is clapping, showing his support. But he's very relaxed compared to everyone else going, yeah, woo, finally, after years, woo.
Are they expecting me to fucking stand up?
Like
Spencer
one
is-
random stranger looks over to you, hey buddy, you should be getting, looks at you, wheelchairs, zips up and just goes like, yeah, go Cassandra.
Looks at the wheelchair, looks at the girl with the gun next to him, looking at the guy with a bowl of water next to her.
Looking at the giant spaceman cat standing in the middle of the crowd, clapping hysterically.
I hate the fact that you have not turned off the suit, but it's probably the best suit in the house.
It is probably the best suit in the house, and those claps might be hurting the people's ears around him, but he's like,
No, you're being mindful. Your power of goodness is reminding you control your sense. So you're doing that golf
Control
clap
myself.
attempt, but it's still sounding curious.
Raucous.
Raucous,
Raucous.
curious. Let me speak my funny words.
Curious is not a word.
He can
Good
invent
now.
words, but he can't use them. Not here. It's
Damn it.
impossible.
Unless you find it on Urban Dictionary, it's not a word.
And if
At
you
this
find it on
point.
an Urban Dictionary, it probably doesn't mean what you think it means.
Curious.
Well, tangents aside, Spencer is happy. Jace is not.
Jace is happy
Jace-
for his sister.
Yeah, Jace is happy for his sister. He doesn't care for the rest of his family, but his sister he loves. The rest of us are just
He loves his sister at this point. He's just happy that someone's happy.
the rest of us are just kind of tired and there.
Spencer's not tired. Spencer's there.
All the same, I assume at this point the bride and groom head out, reception starts, etc., etc.
Yep. You guys do find yourselves upon like the top floor for the reception. It's decked out. There's a there's like a ballroom dance floor where everyone's just enjoying themselves.
Jace isn't gonna go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that I am desperately resisting the urge to dance because I know I would kill people if I did.
Not unless you
Jace
take off
is-
the belt.
That's all
I'm
right,
not
because at
taking
this
off that
point,
belt.
the belt starts making noises. Spencer.
What kind of noises?
The auto cutoff noises.
Ooh, Spencer's gonna take off the belt then.
As you take it off in time for the battery to do its job and not surge you. But at the point that you do take it off, the battery does burn out and falls off, completely burns. He will have Chase will have to make another one next chapter. Wahahaha.
I see. I was too powerful for the belt and overworked it.
Hey, at least you only overworked the battery. Imagine you kept going further.
So DM, Jace is absolutely still planning to leave. He's not saying for the bulk of this reception, but before he goes, he is going to give a like small gift wrapped present box to his sister.
Cassie, you do find a moment where Cassandra is sitting down next to Kenneth. They're actually enjoying the moment off the dance floor while everyone else is distracted, enjoying the dancing, enjoying the DJ who's probably. Is Peanut Butter Jelly Time canon at this 2002?
I believe so.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Yes, exactly.
I believe it was because the otters were a thing.
I have great news for us. It's 2004.
Okay, so it's not canon yet.
Not for
That's-
another 2 years.
Aww. That would have been Spencer's favorite song.
All right, then we'll cue it up with a song that should be out by now. Sadie's "Smooth Operator." There's nothing wrong with that. Still classic. Still a classic.
But yeah, Jace hands the small gift wrap box to her.
As you do, she instead reaches for your hand and pulls you into a hug as carefully as she can without pulling you out the wheelchair.
He does accept the hug.
Believe it or not, you're the best gift I've ever gotten for this. I'm glad you're alive. I'm so sorry about everything. She starts letting go, and looks you in the eye. Sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate the sentiment, but you're not the one who needs to apologize.
She nods before taking a quick glance over at the grandparents who are right next to your parents, specifically your mother, who for this entire time has actually been in her husband's arm, in your father's arm. And what you can tell is bawling her eyes out, though you can't tell it's because of the wedding, because of you, because of the grandparents. Of course not. Of course not.
But I don't know whether she'll open it now or open it later. But inside that little box are a pair of very nice wristwatches, which Jace has given a little energy projection field device in, like he did for Rockin' Prime, so that they have a means to defend themselves in emergencies. And I believe with that, he's probably just gonna leave the reception, make sure that the others have the. Well, no, everyone else's families are here, so they have rides home. He's probably just gonna leave with Rockin' Prime and Agent Smith.
No, hold on. Before you leave like that, Spencer's going to come with you.
Are you, Spencer? Wilda's in distress and there's food here.
Listen, Wilda was in distress. Now she is not. As far as
It
I
has
am
not
aware,
been
please
4
correct.
hours. She is still a punch bowl.
She's still a punch bowl, but transient's right there. She's not in immediate danger.
We're at this point. We'll say that she has maybe another 3
2.
hours, 2 hours, 2
Maybe
hours
2
left
hours at this point.
before she's able to fully reform. The pictures are definitely more vivid as she's able to add details, backgrounds, clouds, fur.
You should stay, Spencer. Enjoy the party. Enjoy the food, the drink, the songs. Be happy.
But I'm happy when I'm with you too.
And I appreciate that. But I'm going to go back to base, and I am going to want to be alone. And there's no reason for you to come back to base just to be there by yourself.
Spencer's just gonna get that nervous kind of look that he gives when he's obviously really wanting something.
Jace's eyes have not opened since the wedding started.
I understand, but Spencer's like, well, I mean, yeah, but you know, there's He's gonna rub the back of his head. Pizza.
Spencer, there's way nicer and probably tastier food here. Look, they've brought out another punch bowl.
I mean, are you sure you're gonna be okay?
Oh, I'm absolutely not okay. But I need time to be alone to process the fact that I'm not okay.
Okay. If you need to talk, or just, scream, I'm here. Always.
I appreciate the offer. But right now, I really need to not be here when I break down. And he is going to continue on to the vehicle with Smith.
I can handle the breakdown too, as he calls out as you leave.
Go ahead and
And,
give me a vehicle check as you're driving.
Okay.
Three
I
of them.
believe it.
3 of them, just so as you're making your way back to your base, right? It's the base you're heading to?
Yeah.
Now that he
You need
is
to keep rolling.
Just
That
give
is
me
you
one
want me-
more roll then. Give me one more roll. Alright, you make it there with no problems. Heck, there was a moment where you think you got away with doing a illegal wheelie, but no one else was there on the street, so all good.
fucking pimped out the Humvee.
Hey Jace, would you like to see a new trick I learned? Wheelie
long
for
as it-
about 10 feet.
As long as it doesn't slow us down, Smith.
That's the fun part. It uses extra gas.
Cool. And once they're back to base, Jace is gonna head straight to his personal room / little laboratory. He's gonna head inside and he's gonna lock the door. And he's probably not coming out for a couple days.
Fair enough. We'll extrapolate on his torture inside later. Back to the group, still at the reception, as everyone's enjoying the dancing, the food. Spencer, you're mad eating the good portion of the hors d'oeuvre table, much to the dismay of several people.
Listen, DM, I have a question for you. I have to DM to you.
Go ahead. As I ask our dear bowl in the water, our living dead girl, and our matter manipulator, what are you doing? And yes, I know what I said. Damn it, I just caught it too.
Transient's pretty much almost passed out on a chair at this point.
Dahlia's like eyeing up the hors d'oeuvres, but she's like trying to keep an eye on her friends at the same time, just because like they've been through a fight, and she still doesn't trust these Zeus and Hera people, so she's like trying to keep an eye on everyone who's still here, but is meanwhile eyeing the dinner, the food covetously.
One more time.
She's got a gun. She is standing guard over her friends, but she is looking longingly at the food.
Spence, would you mind getting Dahlia?
Grabbing Dahlia. I will grab Dahlia then.
Grab Dahlia some food.
Oh, you meant grab Dahlia some food.
Just grab Dahlia. Dahlia is grabbed.
Staring at the
I will
table.
take.
If only the table will come closer. I just got to keep guard of my
Don't
friends.
worry,
Oh,
Dahlia,
hey,
I'll
the
give
table
you
is
some food.
closer. Wait a minute.
Spencer will gently make a very careful plate of like 5 or 6 hors d'oeuvres and hand it to her before going back to quite literally just every single plate of hors d'oeuvres. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And by the way, I did send you a reply.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Let me see. Roll. There is no roll for the ability, DM. It just happens.
Oh, fine. We'll say for now,
let
at
me-
most, you make 7 of yourself.
Okay. As Spencer is eating, you see that this is just a little inkling of the power that he's developing. But you see 3 like small blobs form on his back and just like start making forms out of himself that look like him, but very clearly they're like imitations of him. One of
Oh,
them
dude, I
has-
think this guy's a gremlin.
And the best part of that is it's 3 full-sized copies of him, completely buck naked, but they don't really. They look like they're in. They look like Spencer usually looks, so like maybe like a cat costume, no real definable features of any gender, but they do have the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on their bodies, and a 0 forms on Spencer's back while he's eating, and they go to eating. They go just start eating too.
Yes, they do start rambunctiously also joining in the food. A couple of them cut off like a couple. One cuts off your dad, Cyrus, who looks like he was just gonna go for like a piece of leg, and then all of a sudden, just 3 claws just come up, grab the leg. And
Just tear into 3 equal parts. I love it. Oh, sorry, Spencer.
he blinks for a couple of seconds, seeing like
4.
7 of you, 4.
4 for now, but
Seeing
it's
4 of
slowly
you at the
growing.
same table as you bounce around at different ends, just going the order. He blinks a moment.
Love the idea that he's like, is he fast enough to make copies of himself now?
I always knew he was fast and especially excited about food, but this is ridiculous. He better not be growing to multiple kids. I can barely feed one. So better start take some of these. As he starts trying to pile his plate with whatever he can before you grab it, or you grab it, or you grab it, or you grab it.
I love how many times you said that. Oh boy.
As you are gathering food, did you already deliver the plate to Dahlia, or was that like being made as you
Like
made multiple of yourself?
like 7 Spencers deliver a plate to Dahlia.
Here, Dahlia, I heard you were hungry. Oh, thanks, Spencer. Hey, Dahlia, I thought you were hungry. Here you go. Oh, thank you again, Spencer. Please,
Oh, she's
Dahlia,
just
stop
picking the
me.
meat out of like the hors d'oeuvres, so like
Well, I mean, if there's sushi, she can eat it.
yeah.
Listen, I'm grabbing anything that looks like vaguely red meat.
She'll take it.
Well, there isn't a lot of red meat. You managed to scavenge most of what you could. There's some noticeable disappointed faces, including that of Dr. Ramsay, who was also there. There's also the sad look of Froggy, who missed out on the plate and has to eat off of plate, there's the sad look of. Sorry, what was your father's name again?
Cyrus.
No, that's your father's name.
Terrence.
No, that's your father's name. Oh, I can't believe we're playing this joke
Who
here.
are you talking to?
Transient.
Ah.
His mother's name is Kisaragi. I remember this specifically.
Yeah. Heinrich.
So yeah, she's picking off a Heinrich's plate. Thank you for the correction there. I said Henrik. And as well as several others, including including Kenneth himself, as well as Kalema Ocean, who's also just like several people are just left sad that the hors d'oeuvres have been completely cleared by 7 Spencers. First 4, now grown to 7.
And then all of the Spencers almost simultaneously. That was good. I want to dance.
Mosh pitch forms in the center.
Absolutely. And the best part is that they all have good dance moves.
All right, as you do, and as Dahlia, what exactly are you doing other than eating the meat? Will you vibing there?
Just keeping an eye on things. Also, I have to turn into a pumpkin now.
Oh
It's
no!
after midnight.
All right, I will send you the PowerPoints because we should be wrapping up.
Okay, thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Good night. After a moment transient, you are able to catch the attention of each of the gods that are still participating in the reception. Going into a nearby room that is not too far away, but still quiet enough to be kept private. The gods don't mind taking a moment of their time to hear out words of curiosity that you were going to bring to them. As far as I understood, you were just waving them, come over here, and with almost nothing better to do since the party is going full swing, they decided to follow suit, mostly because of sheer curiosity. What a beautiful party that's going out there. I know. I'm kind of missing to shake my boots too. That cat's cut it up the dance floor too quickly. It does seem kind of rather inopportune, but I'm sure there's a good purpose in this. Please, pray tell. What
First, first to state the obvious. He looks directly at Hera and Zeus. You two are idiots. This is an undeniable truth.
You want us to deny it? You want us to say something?
No, I want you to actually own up to your mistakes for the first fucking time in your millennia.
We'll try it next year. Give it another 5 decades. As Hera punches him in the shoulder. We could be a bit less than what we are. But probably better to ask what you mean.
You literally gave him to the equivalent of Loki's snake, as he looks directly at Loki.
That would be Sleipnir, right?
Snake. Sleipnir's the horse. You're talking about. I was talking about Jormungandr.
Okay. Jormungandr. That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Yeah, you know, the one that is supposed to be able to kill Thor over there?
There's a short exchange. What of it?
Think of that, but add your dad's intelligence in all this. Odin's wisdom. and all his tricks on top of that.
That's a lot of surmising amongst a mortal. You better have a good explanation.
No, I'm just stating that their stupidity was the equivalent of, I don't know, blaming a child for not being powerful enough. Now, now that that little bit is out of the way, you all have a bigger problem on your hands. And Zeus, I don't think you have 5 decades left, if this happens.
What you mean?
Oh, the end of the multiverse.
There's a weird perks of quiet amongst them. That's some weird accusation there. What makes you
Well,
say such a thing?
the Norse would know it better off as Ragnarok.
That still pertains a question, young man. What proof do you have that it's even close?
Looks down in the bowl.
A
The
bowl of
Moonborn
water.
told us.
The what?
Fenrir's lot. Or rather, his equivalents.
There's
Uh,
quite
Boulder would make
there's
the image of Hati.
there's a couple of quiet banters amongst them as they're trying to understand reference to Fenrir, as the thinner of the two brothers look down and goes, "Oh, isn't that cute, Hati?" Wait a minute, how do you know Hati? As he picks up the bowl of water.
Well, Hati would be Wilda's equivalent of her spirit guide.
I don't remember putting him on spirit guide duty. That's curious.
But he did give us a warning. Something's breaking the universe.
Loki takes a moment to stare at you, stare at stare at the bowl of water before looking at the rest of the family. It's a definite mixture of amongst them. Some of them, the Greek gods are one half not taking it seriously, the other half more irksome that Hati is being spoken so freely. Paul seems to be taking this seriously as he's pondering the implications of what you're saying, while Sasano gives a gut laugh. Good, something to do. Getting tired of just letting these guns sit on the wall, do none. While the brothers Loki and Loki and Thor both look at each other with a bit of grimness. Once more, where's the proof?
Why don't you ask truth?
You expect us to contact the Celestial here now?
Why not?
Barely any of us have a time.
He stands before you.
Kid, unless you're just trying to suggest that truth is the glass wall behind you, that's a lot to even suggest. At this point, how would you like to have truth reveal himself?
Oh, the glass wall behind me. He shows a pure white being with black outlines.
So your
A
mirror image
reflection
taking on. Go
taking
ahead.
on truth's form. Yes.
So you allow your reflection to take on truth's form. As you walk, truth does follow in your suit, but rather than smiling, he is grimacing. teeth more in a frown-like manner. Had he eyes, they'd probably be glowering towards the gods themselves. The sheer intensity of the room changes as the light of the sun is now too bright to actually ignore. I will need a will check from you, transient.
Hold on. Subtract 2 from that right now. So that's a 14.
You feel your neck stiffen, and your teeth also start to make the same grimace. And the voice that comes out from you is not your voice, although although you are trying hard to be able to speak at the same time. It feels like truth is coming out just a bit quicker. Your merriment, your time of merriment, and your time of joy. The moon hunters have seen the signs. The universe is cracking into the multiverse. And in that crack lies the very formula for all our ruin. What's worse now is that they're still out there. Still breaking, still growing. And who knows who can take advantage of it first, much less greatly. Yet here you are trying to start up another epic. Another Odyssey. And for what? To grow your numbers? How hearty does a god's soul feel when it knows that its own kind, its own generation, its own lineage is at the risk of genocide? At that remark, all the gods seem to stiffen. No one's laughing, no one's scoffing. Even Susanoo switches back to his original dialect. So we mustn't. How to get up? Nandeska. Damn it. I mean, shoot. What does it mean? What started the crack? To which, at this point, even truth looks away. In a rare moment of uncertainty, even you find yourself unable to give an answer. Has yet to be discovered, is all he says. Feel free to make another will check to try to take back control.
Nope. Even less than the previous time.
There's something in the conviction that he's speaking that pushes his control further as he goes around. In what seems to be a span around each of the gods, he seems to be able to make a different. He's claps and is able to make 5 different worlds. And then at the center, closest by the the whimpering bowl of water that has been put down by Loki, you make one more, each a similar planet. As you can see, each planet is similar. You can assume that each one has a line of history, parallel worlds, whatnot. What we're experiencing, what normal cracks would be, is singular, either normally to a timeline or just between 2 worlds. As he makes what would be assumed like mauve plastic strings to help show what the cracks could be, or where the cracks are in simulation, as he shows like a crack going from one planet or another planet just having a straight crack going up and down. But this particular crack seems to have started here. and he first forms a singular crack that goes upwards and downwards on your on the very center, the one you can assume is your guys' timeline. And yet, before we can even see what caused it begins splintering. As he shows the splintering break apart from in a fractal sense and reach out to the other other 5 planets. As it finishes splintering down to a small splinter on each planet, similar to the one that's on yours, Truth makes yours widen a bit more. As it stands, this is how it is showing. There's a crack, a very fine crack that can be manipulated if by ease. Some have already found ways to do it, whether by naturally pushing themselves through, as he shows a tiny black cat just going through one end of the crack and out out a different end of a different crack, or by sheer manipulation of a device, as he shows a tiny elevator going from the top of one crack, going down, and then popping out at the side of a different crack at a different planet. And each use is already slowly making it worse. Problem is not just one person. Too many people are already using it. He stops and turns towards the gods. And unfortunately, the only energies that can attempt to solve are the ones that you are causing hell upon. But why? Why them? They're just children. They're barely even teenagers. There's a moment where Truth doesn't give an answer as he looks back towards the glass window that's still shining as brightly as it can. Because out of all the ones that are being changed, these ones seem to have caught a hue of a celestial. A hue? You mean like you? Truth smiles, in sorts. The other one, as he makes a big cat, I'm sure you all can tell, houses another one. That one being the literal definition of goodness. Each one that has shown up here has either a hue, a touch, a trace, or even a connection to a celestial. And each one of you knows it! As he points a finger to each one. As you're picking up Transient, there's something about the mention of celestials versus gods that seems to hold a higher meaning. As even Hera and Zeus seem to take a step back at the very mention of it. Problem with us is that we can only interfere so much. That's why we can't just simply find out why the crack is being formed or what caused it in the first place. Normally, it'd be here, we'd be at a standstill. But with this luck, as I want Transit to give me another will check. But Puddle, you are definitely hearing all of this as you try to crawl out of your bowl. Go ahead and give me another fortitude check to attempt to see if you can try to have a stronger hold. Alrighty. So and that's already including the bruises, right?
Yes.
So that's a 12 for me and a 21 for her.
So Transit, where you still aren't able to take control of your body as he still continues on the exposition. Will the it's difficult and it's harrowing, but you find yourself able to escape the bowl. It's like you're trying to move, but every limb on you has like extra weight on it. Like you're trying to drag a boulder with each motion, if that makes sense. But you're doing it. You're able to crawl out of the water, slowly pool around it underneath. Just a few steps. Truth is forming. Since you have been so kind as to play and meddle lives of mortals, you can now start showing. These heroes, masked or not, now need your help and guidance. So how about start acting like actual gods? And you all can start by exiting out of the material realm and starting to look into things on your side. All the gods start to look down. Sasano kicks the ground. Oh shucks, man! I just got my horse and ranch.
The puddle of water is actually trying to get to Edward.
Because if you do not help them, then the likelihood of us fixing the crack grows slimmer and slimmer as he makes the crack grow bigger and bigger on all sides of the point as fractal starts to grow and starts to show more signs of trying to reach out to different planets until event until eventually something or someone. And with the last part, you see what could be a shade of a hand, could be an actual meat hand. It doesn't matter. The visage of a hand large enough to grasp the entirety of the center crystal that's fractaling out of control and grasping it until it shatters. And upon its shattering, your planet, their planets, all break as well, turning back into dust. It must not be allowed to grow that large. It must not be allowed to be touched. It is at this point you do not even make a roll for this transient. You feel water start pooling at your feet, as well as able to fully crawl to where your body is standing. At the touch, at the familiar sense of Puddle being there, trying to reach out to you, even Truth seems to recognize what's happening and he lets go. You're taking control fully form of your body as the window dims back down to a sunset that is occurring outside as almost takes on the evening tone. Well, boy, howdy if that ain't a sign of evidence if I've ever seen one. I'm perplexed and yet in agreement with you, Susano. This is even befuddling for a god. I didn't even notice that if the kid had truth walking around in him. I just saw him casting alchemies, and I was already just not happy to deal with him. So great, cool. He's a prophet too. As Zeus once more gets elbowed into the shoulder.
Good. Well, now that you all can pull your heads out of your collective asses, Thor and Loki should probably go talk to Heimdall. You know, the all-seeing. Ty, you should probably speak to the Scarab. He will probably know more. As for you two, you do have an oracle on your side. Use her. Good lord.
There's frowns amongst them as you try to make the suggestion. While reaching out to Heimdall is easy enough. He holds the bridge.
But he's also all-seeing. He can at least locate the wolf, the Moonborn, for you to speak to if need be. Or even Fenrir, for God's sakes. Just release the poor pup from the damn chains.
About that, yeah, the pup has already been released. He's been running with the Moon Hunters for some odd centuries. We've already
Good. That
long
should make
did
him
that.
easier to locate for Heimdall, given that they know each other.
Loki looks down over to the side. What? We'll discuss that later, brother. Yeah, of course. We'll let them know. Yeah.
Whatever
know-
you say, Pappy Loki.
Yeah. Right. But I do hope your dear friend there is able to recover it. Excuse me, young lass, would you like a little help there?
She would growl at them, being super protective.
There's a moment where they.
Susanoo.
Oh, go ahead.
Susanoo, as much as your sister hates you, her mirror is probably your best bet. She will kick your ass, and Tsukiyomi will quite happily help her.
They already
But you need
did. What do you think I'm out here looking for a wrench?
you need to man up a
shit.
little bit.
Okay, this is a lot coming from a kid. What the fact that Truth also badgered shit. I'm telling you to draw blades, but yeah, I'll go talk to Ami. I wonder if I can do the usual peace offering. Just a bunch of fruit.
As long as you don't throw any dead animals under her throne, I'm pretty sure you'll be fine.
You think she'll be okay with scorpions? This is actually a legitimate question. I don't think she's seen scorpions just yet. No. All right. I'll go ask her myself.
How badly do you want your sword shoved up your ass?
Well, last time she did that, there's a definite kink now involved. So probably the less the better. Anyway, yeah, probably less the better. Sasano just scratches his nose, pondering about the thought. The other gods do look at him a bit incredulous.
Wouldn't be the first time the Japanese had something like that.
Meanwhile, Hera speaks up. As for our Oracle, fortunately, she passed. More than likely awaiting her new vessel. As soon as her new vessel comes to bounds, we'll be able to speak with her about it.
So go talk to your son Apollo. Well, his son Apollo, I should say.
Hera frowns. Zeus chuckles. Zeus receives another elbow, this time in the nose.
Given that he is the god of prophecy as well. He can channel his own oracle, you know that, right?
I care not that he channels his own oracles. I care not to speak with the miscellaneous sons of my husband. But you have a fair point.
Either you can get over that and adopt them as your own, and actually form a proper family, one not necessarily of blood, like many families are made of in this age. Or you can continue to be a whiny pain in the ass.
How rude of you. Just because you're attuned to truth does not mean you get to, as she receives a lightly bump from the shoulder of Zeus.
You drove Heracles mad because he was your husband's bastard.
Uh-huh. And I'll do it again. But
And killed a family of which you are supposed to be the protector of. You are a hypocrite to your own domain.
she scoffs and starts to look away.
Gaia was a better mother than you, and that's saying something.
There's some oohs and ahs coming from the men. The male gods of the group, as Hera turns at you with a scorn and evil look in her eye.
So I figured, after the last 2.5 millennia, you would have learned your lesson.
There's no lesson to be learned about watching your husband bequeath further children.
Then take them as your own, spit in his face, and you have your own family.
You heard
True.
Red Cat. Go do job.
No, I do believe you all have something to search for at this point. Ta, it was good to meet you. At least one person of, well, I can't say dubious knowledge, given that your knowledge is of all medicine, but
I do, I do like to thank you for being a sound mind amongst this menagerie of madness too. So thank you. I'll go speak with the scarab as soon as possible. Maybe even Ra might have some knowledge if he can rein in his children too.
just make sure that he doesn't unleash Sekhmet.
Mm, be harder
We
said than done, but
we
I will make mention.
we can't afford the bloodshed she'll cause.
Uh, what would be another world war?
Uh, Isis might castrate you for that, given the amount of work that she had to do to put the world back together the last time.
Yes, and then there was World War II. That wasn't even on Sekhmet. That was you. That was all humans. But fair.
I don't know, I can blame the Norse pantheon a little bit.
Oi! I don't know why, but it feels right for the Norse to go oi.
Your fingers were all over the all over the German people at that point.
You can't hold us for what one madman attempts to conscript. He even took the freaking Buddha symbol. A Buddha symbol. They're peaceful bastards. Most part.
Oh, that reminds me. Anyone spoken to Wukong in the last century or 3?
There's grimaces as everyone looks away. Ugh.
Oh,
Don't
good.
bring up that son.
Oh, good. He could be useful in this, given that he's got a direct line to Buddha.
There's several chills down their spines at the mention. Is at that point, Ta does tip his hat and bids you adieu as he exits the door. Sasano flips off his flips open his duster. Time for me to hit the old dusty trail. I ain't here for this party. That y'all have better luck with that woo bastard. As he steps on out, leaves, bringing up Sun Wukong versus Susanoo. What's the matter with you? The,
Different, different pantheons, completely different measures.
I have my reasons. Thor and Loki do look at each other. Thor sighs and relents while Loki gives a knowing nod, both to you and to Wilda, and proceeds to head out, which leaves you, Hera, and Zeus at the moment. Know this: I go not because I am being told by a 15-year-old brat connected to a celestial, but that the sake of our worlds are in threats, a possible issue.
Or you could go for your family for the first time in your lifetime.
I have lost many a family before. I have started many a more as well. I am thankful for this family, and I will do what I can to hold on to it. And I will try a bit better. But do not try to lecture me as though you've had more life experience. You may be connected to the truth, young man, but you yourself are but a vessel. As she walks away, leaving you and the currently tied up Zeus, who looks over. Hey, what about me? Hey, you guys can help me out here.
You already know you can break that without a problem.
He smiles. All right. He gets up. The bitings relents with ease as he stands up, each one breaking off of his bronze chest. You know, I never did repair my shirt.
Oh, by the way,
Hmm?
you might want to speak to Hades.
Yeah, I guess Hades would be good to speak about this. Maybe even to know. Why? Is there something important to look up?
Well, given the number of deaths that are about to happen, maybe he can locate one of the souls that might have seen the actual crack.
Maybe. Tell you what, keep tabs on my boy Jace there, and I'll let you know what we find. Yeah.
We'll try to unfuck your fuck up, yes.
Or you can exasperate it. You do know gods do come out from multiple ways, whether by great acts of heroism or great acts of terrorism.
I'm pretty sure we don't want another Dionysus god of madness on our hands.
With how much he's been sparking off, for sure, just anger, just another Ares wouldn't be bad. Might piss off Hera more. She still hasn't forgiven me about any of that, which is hilarious because she still had Hephaestus. I mean, I accepted him like a genuine son after 5-6 millennia.
And throwing him down a mountain. Yes, we kind of know the stories.
Twice. But yeah, but she's, I mean, goddesses, right? Different breed, different understanding of the mixtures of the universe. Anyway, y'all take care. Enjoy the reception, and save me some of those little tiny fishes, please.
Try not to die in the process.
If only. As he exits out, bronze skin shimmering through the door. You are now by yourself inside the room with Wilda.
He's gonna be the first one to die, isn't he?
Probably.
Okay, I'm too tired for this party. Oh, Spence is enjoying this enough for all of us combined.
flickering back over to Spencer. Spencer, you and your other 5 selves dance floor, probably the maddest dancing fest you've ever committed to.
Yes, I am.
If anything, I would like a strength check from you as the multitude have begun doing the Baryshnikov. Kurishnikov?
Is that each of them individually or me?
I would say you. Frickin' pain. As a
All right.
treat.
This would be the copycat form strength, so it's going to be a +4. That's a 15.
Underneath all of your forms, cracks have started forming on the dance floor, but it is not broken. Although, one certain CEO that was mentioned earlier is definitely a bit of a migraine, as the fact that he still has to pay for damages is still gonna.
Yeah. He's going to have to pay for the damages to this casino. Fortunately, we have something to fix that.
As you're dancing, you do feel a tap on one of your shoulders as Wilda's mom, Marla, looks over. Excuse me, dear. Do you know where Wilda is? I haven't seen her since the whole procession. Kind of worried because I want to take pictures.
Oh, well, that's really easy. She walked into that room with Edward a while ago.
She doesn't freak out. Cyrus behind her goes, "What?" You see, you have to be doing. She's as he attempts to step around. Marla lifts up a cup that she had been holding and pretty much forces him to drink. We all know how quickly he gets drunk and how he acts. So after the drink, he is buddy hopping into your arms, Spencer. Go, I wanna go ballrooming.
What's a high rolling?
Hi, I'm Cyrus. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Cyrus.
As you shake hands, Marla follows where you last pointed out and enters in the room, or goes into a couple of rooms. She doesn't see any of the gods as she walks by. Instead, she does see Edward and holding Edward and a puddle of water around him taking the semi-lucent form of a dog over the 2D section. Help me out here.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention for a second.
Spencer has pointed out to where you and have went around, and she is in the room behind Transient standing, and you in your puddle form still.
No, Transient just sat down with his head in his hands.
Ah, sorry. Well, okay, so seeing you sit instead, did you actually leave the room as well, Transient? Forgive me.
No, we haven't left the room where we were meeting with the gods.
Okay, so seeing you sit down, Marla will come over, barely picking up on that last point. Well, a wedding does take a lot out of a person, even if we are only the guests. It's a lot of energy here. Take it, Wilda had a panic attack.
Looks down at the puddle.
Marla picking up on that, kneels down in a sense. You doing all right, honey?
You kind of see the wolf staring at her, tail not moving, on alert.
I don't normally see you as a dog. Is this a side effect of hanging out with Spencer or part of the DNA sequencing?
Let's just say it's been a very, very long day.
She smiles softly. Well, I do hope you all have the time to let us know. Still doing further research, but nothing has come up yet. It's troubling, you know. I've been at this whole biochemistry thing for almost 2 decades now, and I still don't know what is happening. I barely understand the whole sequencing of metas.
Recommendation, try looking into the legends.
Legends?
The oldest legends. As
If you
far
cut,
back as the most basic concepts that man ever came up with.
I don't know if it's my sobriety fogging up my head or if also just tired, but I don't understand what you're inferring. Are we talking about tales like the old alchemy tales, or
Older. From the dawn of man's history.
Kind of real.
huh? I will have to pick your kid's brain about that. But if what you said is true, then I owe my husband $100. And she pauses, looks at you two. Yeah. Okay. I'll start looking into that, though. I'm not sure how much I can pick up from legends for my profession.
The best way would be, my guess, find the remains of the Phoenix.
She takes a couple of steps. She stands up at the mention of a phoenix. Hmm. I thought that was just a myth. I mean, to think a bird of fire actually existing and forming out of his ashes still
Every
perplexes
legend
me.
has a grain of truth.
Oh, I'll ponder on it. For now, how about you kids come out? Spencer's almost cleared the whole hors d'oeuvres, and a lot of the guests are already starting to head downstairs. It's gonna be hard for you kids to go to the restaurants without us, so let's grab something to eat. You can also pick up your family. Although, I think Kisaragi was really looking forward to the caviar.
Well, it's fish, so it's probably gone by now.
Yeah. Anyway, come on. Right. Do you know how long, hon?
Mind if I bring you along in a bowl?
Okay.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
he'll take the bowl that she had climbed out of, do a quick clap of his hands, spread it thin, and then effectively reconstitute it with Wilda inside.
As you re-shrink the bowl with her inside now, Marla takes a sigh of relief. Oh goodness! Thank goodness. I was afraid I was gonna have to be hands-on. Oh well. I mean, oh good. So let's go find. Let's go out there.
At those
I
hands on Wilda's head tilts in the bowl.
at the hands-on.
Yeah, she said that she had to be more hands-on, and she's like, huh?
Well, it's not exactly hands-on, as she makes one of the. As she makes one of the sweat drops that was coming off of transient during the transformation evaporate real quick before turning back
Makes
into
one
a
of
droplet.
the
What's up?
Are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Echo, Delta One Bravo.
Looks like our GM just bugged out.
No, I
Oh,
can hear him.
Or I did.
I
I
think
can
you
hear
bugged
you.
out. Yeah, I think you bugged out.
So it's
Oh.
just me. There we go. Now I can hear. Don't
Oh,
ask
thank
what's going
goodness.
on.
No stress. No, as I was saying, she describes how she was going to be hands-on by evaporating one of the sweat droplets that you had when you were reconstituting the glass bowl, and then into a small gas vapor, and then brings it back to a droplet into her hands.
Not entirely sure how that would have affected Wilda.
Neither do I, and I'd rather not, especially if she can feel that. So, rather the bowl. Now, come on. I have been sober a bit too long. I need a drink, and Cyrus stole mine. He says, matter of fact.
Is he okay to drive?
I'll be driving.
Huh.
I can only imagine. Yes, exactly. The fears, the whimper of fears exasperate the minute you hear your we will say that as the party goes, will Dahlia having eaten enough red meat to keep herself from turning regathers with her parents, and the parents being a bit more reclusive than everyone else chooses that time to start heading home
And her brand new car.
in her father's brand new car. Damn straight. As they wave to you, Dahlia says, "I'll see you probably tomorrow." Yeah, there's no real definition, no need to actually confirm. Y'all are gonna see each other again soon. Definitely by tomorrow. The festivities does start settling down as as you guys get the chance to see as you guys do get the chance to see Kenneth and Cassandra go into their personal limousine with the words "just married" slapped back as they start driving off out of the desert towards towards the airport for their honeymoon. As the party dwines down, everyone gets into their vehicles. You find yourselves traveling on the moonlight. Parents kick onto the radio as you hear the nightly news kick off. Good evening. Good evening. This is the nightly news, and I'm going to bed tonight. This morning, rambunctious amounts of revelry caused by random uh, Resputes attacking our local cities in different ways, only to be stopped by multiple citizens of caring natures. We turn live over to Natsu with more talks about the forums that have occurred northward above the industrial sector. Hello, Goen. This is Natsu. We are here at the fields by the mill yards of northern industrial sector of Pyrogal. As you can see, multiple hills have been converted into hog mouths, hog heads, and even a hog body. But no person has been found as to why these hogs have been made. In other news, unrelated, a pig man has been brought to the police force for questionings onto capturing and trafficking of minors. More on that tomorrow. Back to you, going. And other news, we are now given full permission to give congratulations to Kenneth Deuteronomy Amps and Cassandra Watts, now Amps, on their wonderful marriage. Good tidings from all, and the best of luck out there. In other news, recent events in the reservations have brought to clearance that there is a new tribal leader amongst the Navajo populace out there in working with the Shoshone tribe side. Manuel Collins is now the current of the Navajo tribe and working alongside the current town as well as the reservation that exists outside of the town in order to maintain civilities and tribe relations. We cut over here with Claire Philly to get a more exclusive. Good evening, everyone. This is Claire Philly Hidden, and here I am with Manuel Collins here at the reservation, celebrating the recent jubilation as he's been brought up as tribal leader. How goes it, Manuel? It goes well. Another fine, fun day. Honestly, there's not much change happening, but there is going to be push for better care for our reservations, and hopefully more talks about being able to garner better equipment in order to bring water, fix certain sewage systems out here. That's wonderful. That's great. We are getting word that there is a bit of a complication going on. Is that anything to stress about? No. Outside tribes will always have arguments about new tribal heads and willing to push their way to see where the boundaries are. I'll more than likely have to have discussions with their heads. We'll see about keeping this relatively painless. Thank you. We do hope to hear more about the observations as we cut back over. Going. Thank you, Miss N. For the rest of the evening, we would like to thank the Morality Brigade as they continue their upkeeping of the town. Recent multiple buildings have been broken. The Morality Brigade has been able to make significant push in helping the mill workers and construction workers in repairing these buildings. We thank you, Morality Brigade. Please continue the hard work as your heroes in our eyes. Lastly, news just coming in. The surgeon mass murderer has finally been caught. There will be more news to discuss in the morning, but safe to say, surgeons of LG standings can now rest can now rest at home peacefully, knowing that this horrible madman whose knife has carved into many a carver has been caught. Till then, this is Going to Bed, and I'm going to bed. We thank you for the finish of the chapter here with everybody. Distributing 11 PowerPoints to everyone, and a power level included.
How much?
No, 11 PowerPoints.
11
plus a power,
PowerPoints.
All
plus
right,
a power level.
that's pretty awesome.
The amount of shenanigans I put you guys through is probably well worth it.
It
Would
is.
have been worth at least 3 different chapters.
Yes, but this was a big chapter. This had a wedding in it. This was like the summer blockbuster movie, or at least a 3-part special. So,
Thanks for watching, guys.
We'll be back in hopefully 2 weeks to start the next chapter of our series, which has yet to come up with a name. But do expect we are be heading outside of Pyrogol
For once.
this next adventure.
Do we know what date it's gonna be?
Date to be determined. So unfortunately, not yet. But in 2 weeks, I will be able to give you that time frame. I'll be able to give you the skinny of the title, and so you make adjustments as is.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, bye.
Till next.
Bye.
Bye.